Last night I made something delicious and I kind of made it up myself and I'm very proud of it, so I'm going to show you what I did. I do a lot of gardening, and I grew butternut squash that I had actually harvested last fall. It is now late March, and it was still good, but I thought, I'm going to take care of it before something happens. So I peeled it, I cut it in pieces, and I froze part of it, and then the rest I left out. Because this dish is so quick and easy, it is part of a collaboration named Quick and Easy Meals, hosted by Anna of the Grace Life DIY Home Decor. New videos come out every Sunday evening. Sometimes there are co-hosts, and if there is a co-host this week, I will mention that. I'll mention their name in the description box. But the hashtag is Quick and Easy Meals 24. So let's get started. I have got a small potato, and some butternut squash pieces, uncooked, and an onion. I have rosemary. This is rosemary from my garden. I have thyme, and I have Parmesan cheese. Whoops. Walmart Parmesan cheese and olive oil. I'm going to be baking this in this little clay cooker. It's actually a tortilla warmer or something. With the lid. You don't have to cook it in one of these. I'm going to tell you how I cooked it in this, but anything with a lid, like a cast iron or a casserole dish or something covered with foil, because it cooks kind of slow and gets all nice and soft, and this particular tool works well for that, but many others do as well. Because I am using the clay cooker, it needs to warm up with the oven. I'm not going to preheat the oven, but if you have something besides the clay cooker, preheat the oven to 350. So I'm going to go ahead, I've washed this potato and taken off some of the eyes, and I'm going to cut this into sort of small bite-sized pieces. I like to have the same amount of potato, more or less, as I have butternut squash. And by the way, I have butternut squash because I had this butternut squash, but I'm sure this would be fine in any other sort of winter squash, and it would be good probably with sweet potatoes too. But this is what I had, and it came out great, so that's what we're going to use. So here are the potatoes, and I'm going to cut up probably 2 of these chunks. I'm going to cut them into small pieces too. Those butternut squash, I've read that they are actually the longest, they have the longest shelf life of all the winter squashes, so I'm definitely going to grow them again. And squash like this is kind of like pumpkin, so if you cook them down or steam them, whatever, you can use them like you would use a pumpkin in many things. You could probably even use it, make a sort of a pumpkin pie out of them. I know I could probably make this in my waffles instead of pumpkin. My pumpkin waffles, pumpkin spice waffles, butternut spice waffles. I know I could make quick bread out of this, like a pumpkin quick bread, except instead of the pumpkin, I would have butternut squash. It behaves the same. You just have to, like the other one, just cook it. All right. Okay. Here you go. Now I'm going to just cut 2 slices of this onion and dice it up pretty small. I want there to be really no trace of the onion insofar as big pieces. I just want it to get into everything. This is so good. I cannot tell you what a surprise it was, how good it was. I was going to do it with just the seasonings, and then I thought, let's throw some Parmesan in there, and it made all the difference in the world. Now I'm going to season this. I'm going to put a liberal amount of rosemary. I don't know how much that is, maybe 2 teaspoons or so. It's going to depend how much squash and potatoes you have, and then a liberal amount of thyme, probably about the same amount. I do grow thyme in my garden, but it's lemon thyme with kind of a lemony flavor, so I thought I would just go for the plain thyme. And now I'm going to put quite a bit of Parmesan cheese, maybe a 1/4 cup, and just mix that up. And then I'm going to add olive oil. You want enough olive oil to coat this. Let me put that there. So I'm just going to pour till I feel there's enough to coat. Maybe between 1/8 and 1/4 of a cup. Again, it's going to depend how much you have of this. So I'm just going to stir it, maybe add a little bit more olive oil. I just want all this Parmesan and the seasoning and everything picked up from the bottom of the bowl and sticking to the potatoes and the squash. Even though this is glazed and there's olive oil on the potatoes and the squash, I'm still going to spray this because I noticed when I made this yesterday it stuck. Probably the cheese or something stuck. So I'm going to spray that. Then I'm going to put this on top of the oil. And we're almost ready. Oh my gosh, it smells good right now and I haven't even cooked it. The lid goes on, and because this is one of those clay pots, I'm going to put it in the cold oven and turn it up to 350. Again, if you're doing this in something other than a clay pot, you can have the oven preheated. Every 10 minutes or so, you're going to want to just go in there and give things a little stir. Now that the oven is at 350, I'm going to throw these croutons in too. I use the same seasonings I used for the potatoes, some thyme, some rosemary, olive oil, and I added some garlic salt. I did not put Parmesan this time. So I'm going to throw them in. The bread is bread that I actually made myself in the bread machine. So I'm interested in seeing how it turns out, croutons. It was good as bread. So I'm going to throw that in too. Well, this came out absolutely beautifully. It took about 40 minutes to cook, and that's because of the clay pot. I needed to warm up the oven with the clay pot. If you use another container, another cooking container, you can put it into a hot oven already, and it will probably take a lot less time. But this is so good. I cannot describe to you how good it is. I'm going to dig in for dinner like in 2 minutes. The croutons I made also came out great in the oven at the same time, and they're still hot, but I'll have them in a salad tomorrow. So that's this evening's escapades. Both delicious, and thank you so much for watching.